Hi, everyone. This is Aaron, and you are listening to the SoundWords podcast, a podcast about the life and times of today's worship leaders. Today's guest is Joyce Ho, and we're going to talk about the Keith and Kristen Getty Christmas concert, expressiveness in worship, teaching Sunday school, and Joyce's plans for her winter break. Thanks for listening. Some follow-up from last week, or not last week, then the last time we podcasted, is that you mentioned that you played the French horn.
Yeah.
And when did you play the French horn? Because we didn't really get into any details about that. But I want to say something about it, but I want to hear more details about it
really?
First. Yeah.
Okay, so I played the French horn when I was in the 6th grade. And that's all.
That's it? Like what? In the elementary school band?
No, in the middle school band.
Oh, 6th. Okay, right.
Yeah, 6th to 8th grade is middle school. So I originally wanted to play, I don't know. I didn't know what I wanted to play, but I wanted to be in band.
Yeah.
And so a friend of mine was doing French horn. So I was like, oh, I'll try that too. And then I ended up playing the French horn for a year. And then I quit afterwards.
What friend is this? Do I know this friend?
No, I don't. I haven't seen her since like.
Oh, I see. And you haven't played it since?
No, I haven't.
I really wish.
It's a beautiful instrument, though.
Yeah, no, I wish that you kept it up.
The cello of band.
It's like right? The cello of the brass instruments. Or fine. Yeah, of band.
Really?
Yeah, no, yeah, it has a good sound.
Yeah.
I wish you kept it up, or else I would
me
ask
too.
you to play for
I wasn't that bad.
You weren't that bad? You should.
I wasn't that bad.
Can you pick it up again?
No.
Do you remember the positioning?
The position, like how to hold
or like
it?
The fingers, like the
I don't think it's too hard. Yeah, I'm sure I could remember it, but
you should just try it. Do you have a French horn in your possession?
No, I do not have a French horn. Do you?
I mean, okay, that's the reason why I wanted to tell you was that I did not play the French horn, but I played the trumpet. I took trumpet lessons, I think.
Wow, you're so serious.
Sometime in college. Yeah.
In college?
Yes.
So serious.
Yeah, I paid for my own lessons. I was like, I really want to take this.
Wait, you took up trumpet in college?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I took trumpet lessons. Like I went to a music store and this guy like gave me trumpet lessons because I really wanted to learn. Like,
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Anyways, it's just another way that you and I are very similar playing our brass instruments.
So you don't play the trumpet anymore?
No. I wish I did though. But you know what? I was never really good at it. I could get by, but it wasn't like performance ready. I don't think,
right.
I just wanted to get to know the instrument. So that way, if I ever wanted to compose for it or just, talk to somebody about it, then I would know what I'm doing or know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to have vocabulary when you're talking about music with other people.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I would have taken you for a trumpet player.
It's because I'm not. It was just me pretending. Yeah, me trying to play the trumpet. All right, Joyce, tell me about the Getty concert. You went to the Getty concert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how was it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot more Irish. Is it Scottish or Irish?
Irish.
It was a lot more Irish than I thought, but it was really cool. And I liked how they really tried to get the audience involved.
How so?
They showed us. Well, they had us clap to the beat and they were like, oh, you can stomp your feet like this and then do these yells. I didn't do it, but and then before the intermission and after the intermission, they had us stand up and sing with them. So they gave us the lyrics and the brochure, and then we were just worshiping together, which was really interesting because usually at a concert, you think oh, you're going to go and watch people perform. But then at this concert, they had us worship with them. They were leading us, the congregation, into singing. So I thought that was really cool.
I read that there were some special guests there, right? Didn't they?
Yeah.
Who went?
There was Matt Redman. He came out. He did one song. I wish he did more. But
just one song?
Yeah.
Wow.
Does he play guitar?
Yeah.
He didn't play guitar either. He just came out and sang one song.
Oh, well, that's still cool.
And then they
10,000 Reasons?
No. I forgot what song he did. And then they had Johnny Erickson Tata.
Oh, cool. What did she do?
Yeah. She came out and then she like talked for a little bit, and then I think she was reading something in between music. But she didn't like do anything musical, but she was basically like talking at us about worship. Yeah.
I think that her cancer is back. Did you read that?
Yeah, I read something like that. So she had gotten surgery 8 days before the concert.
Oh, okay.
And so she like, they said that she really wanted to get better to be there, and she was there.
Man.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, no, it sounds like I'm glad that she got help, but like, yeah, that's really cool that she was there and you guys had a good time, it sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
Were you
Yeah, because I had always like heard about her. Like a lot of speakers will mention her and her story, right? And like, you know, about like Johnny and Friends and like her books and blog posts and everything. And like she has a movie about her. Right?
I've never seen the movie.
Oh, I think she has a movie about her. But yeah, so I didn't know that she was going to be there until like a couple of days before.
Yeah.
So I got really excited because, I don't know, her story is just like really inspiring. And it's not just inspiring that like her suffering turned into her like blessing other people, but like the magnitude to which like this one incident in her life has like continued to like expand in like the way it blesses people. It's just like so big. So it was like pretty amazing.
It is pretty, it's a pretty crazy story. And I'm sure she lives a pretty crazy life too. But I mean, I'm glad that, I mean, I read some of her stuff, like not books, but like blog posts. I think she does a lot for like Gospel Coalition and stuff like that. Desiring God.
Yeah.
Were you inspired musically by the concert? Or like as a worship leader?
Well, so one thing that inspired me was when Johnny was talking about worship. I forgot her exact words, but she was talking about how worship is not that tame, I guess, because some people will sing like they're just singing, right? But then she said, like, when you declare God's praise, you're proclaiming it. So it's not like something like timid or controlled. It's like you're expressing your heart through worship. So the way in which she said it was inspiring in that, like, yeah, we should be worshiping like with our whole hearts and expressing that to the world so that they can see it. So that's one way in which I want to grow, is to like be more expressive in my worship.
Really? Okay, wait, like raising your hands and stuff, or like?
I mean, if I want to, yeah.
If you want to, right? Of course, yeah. Okay, do you normally raise your hands? I don't observe you, so I don't know if you do or not.
I don't usually. I have, but not often.
Not often.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Do you do like a full on like hands in the air, or do you like do a little? Do you do one of these things? Like,
oh my God, I do like a one hand in the air.
One hand in the air, like this, like high five way, or like this way?
What are you talking about?
There are different ways to raise your hand.
Yeah. So it depends on like, so I'll either like put it up like kind of like a high five way, or like down to the side. Why are you making me talk about this?
I don't know. I just want I don't observe you, so I want to have a description, so I have a mental image of what you're talking about.
So I learned a couple of years back about how like there's different body positions that mean different things when you're worshiping.
Wait. Are you sure you learned it, or was it a meme? Because I saw like a
meme.
No,
it was not a meme.
Okay.
So what was the meme?
I don't know. It's just like making fun of different like ways you.
What was it?
Like do body stuff. I don't know. Like it just said like, oh, like this is called like waving the hand or something like that. I don't know. You know, stuff like that. But you're telling me this is real.
Oh my gosh. No. I'm not saying that's real.
Oh.
But I just remember someone saying like, so if you put your hands out like in front of you, like you're receiving something, it's like surrender. Or like versus like putting your hands up is like proclaiming and like lifting high or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, it just depends.
So you were inspired to have more physical expressiveness.
Not necessarily physical expressiveness.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like, is that what you thought? That's why we were talking about this right now?
I mean, that's what I assume.
I think not just physical, but like, I guess just everything, like the way in which you sing. Like, I think like Endora was saying in her podcast last time, like singing with abandon. So like singing loudly and not like being afraid of other people hearing you, or just like not being so like structured or like tame in it, but just being more organic, I guess.
Do you feel inhibited in the pews?
Uh, sometimes, yeah. But I think it's like human nature. It's just like distractions or like sometimes like I think like, oh, other people are not like singing, so I don't want to sing too loud and like be the only one like heard, or like other people are not raising their hands, so it makes me self-conscious. So like just things like that.
You know how sometimes like people just say only the congregation,
Yeah.
and like the instruments stop playing?
Yeah.
I shy away when people do that.
Really? Wait, I love that.
I mean, I enjoy it, but I don't like, I mean, I feel that like my voice just kind of like doesn't blend well with everybody. Maybe that's my own fault, you know? So like I don't know. I guess I like
but it's not about that, right? Like it's not about like what it sounds like musically. It's about like expressing your heart in worship.
Man,
so like
right.
I think even people
You're absolutely right. Yeah, no, I need to repent and freaking take care of this before I start leading again.
I mean, like even like sometimes if you're standing next to someone who like doesn't sing that well, like you can tell like they're off key, right? Or like just not like blending well with other voices. Even then,
I always stand next to people who sing well, so I don't know who
you
stand next to.
Okay, all right. Well, some people, maybe it's me too. Sometimes, like this, I don't know, are off key or like the tones of their voices are not like what we prefer musically. But the times in which I hear that and the like when they're singing off pitch but still singing their hearts out, that's really encouraging to me. Even though it's not musically like the best, but the fact that they don't care and they're just singing like loudly because they believe in what they're singing is really encouraging.
No, you're right. You're right. And I'm the worst because I need to be reminded of this. I'm like the worst music leader ever. But like,
no, I think we all struggle with that.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for struggling with me, I suppose.
Yeah, I struggle a lot.
You haven't actually led for a while, I don't think. Have you?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Is it my fault? Is it because I haven't been scheduling you?
I mean, I think it's because you haven't been scheduling me, but I'm okay with that.
Well, how was the praise night? I don't know if you.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear what Philip said?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
Nothing. He just said that like, oh, he ended up taking charge of it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I'm thankful.
Oh, okay.
that he took charge of it because, well, he asked me, because originally I was slotted to lead that night, right?
Right.
And so that's why you were like, oh, Joyce will take care of the
communication. Right.
I think like Philip I switched with Philip because he was going to be out one of the nights. So then after that, I think he was like, oh, by the way, if you're too busy with school or something, like I can like help out and take the lead or something like that for the praise night. And then I was like, okay, yeah, sure. If you're down, because he said he had time. And then I was like getting busier and busier. So yeah, he took charge and I was really grateful. And he did a great job, I think.
It sounds like you've enjoyed your break.
I have.
Do you think that like if you ever stopped leading music that you'd be sad? I'm not saying that I'm not going to schedule you. I'm just saying like how much is this like a part of you, or do you feel that like, oh, you want to do this?
So the thing is, I think I want to do it. Sometimes I don't necessarily think that I'm the best person to do it because I'm not sure if I'm gifted in the ways that other people are musically to lead. But I think like because I led worship at my old church too, and I love music, that makes me want to lead. Because like even if I'm not like musically the most gifted, I think like I can probably still like say, oh, this is a good worship song versus this other one. Like, I think I enjoy like being able to lead the congregation into a time of worship and preparing to like hear the message. So I like that part. But the musically gifted part, I sometimes am like, oh, maybe I'm not the best person to do it. I like helping out. I really like supporting and playing with home and stuff.
Well, I mean, okay, I told you before, like, I think you're good. I think you're fine. So
yeah.
Don't worry about that. Okay. And I haven't been not scheduling you because I don't know why. It just hasn't, I don't know, for whatever reason.
That's fine.
There's no agenda, okay? There's no secret agenda that I'm like.
I know. I didn't think there was.
Okay, just want to make it clear between us. I don't want any like weird vibes going on.
That's okay.
Like, I get what you're saying, though. I think what you're saying is that like you have the mindset of a music leader. And so if you were like, for some reason, not to be leading music, like you would still like think maybe critically about the songs or about what's going on or why people do the things they do. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I would have thoughts.
Would you ever make your thoughts known to the music leader?
If I thought it was necessary, maybe. But I don't want to like speak out of my place or anything.
That's probably wise and fair. Both
and
ways.
I know there's like other people who are involved in music who are also like probably have the same thoughts that I do.
It's true. Do you?
Yeah, I trust you guys.
Oh, thank you. Do you think that you're pretty vocal about your opinions, or do you think you're like, oh, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to cause controversy? Not just about music, but just about things in general.
If you ask me, I'll be vocal about it.
And you'll be honest.
And I'll be honest. Yeah. If you ask me. But I guess I'm not one to really say anything unless I feel like it needs to be said. Or like if we're having like a discussion, like among people that I like know, then maybe I'll like.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question then. Okay, so like when I lead, like I've been telling people to clap, I've been asking people to raise their hands. Yeah. Do you think that it's becoming too routine and too expected? Is that bad? That it's like, oh, this is Aaron's gonna do this thing now, and it's like, oh, he just keeps doing it, and it's not like, you know, it's not like maybe it lost its meaning, you know, like maybe it's like, oh, now he's just telling us to raise our hands and we're just gonna raise it, or oh, now our clapping is like scripted and it's not spontaneous and so it's not real praise. Like, how do you
children's worship?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that you do it too often, and I like when you do it. So I think so far I'm okay with it, because while I do think it should be like an organic thing and like people should want to do it themselves, I think the fact that you're introducing it into worship, because like we don't normally do it, right? So you're like creating that atmosphere where it's like, okay, this is what we're going to do together as a congregation. Like in this moment, we're going to join together in that way. I think that's okay, but not like all the time, you know? Yeah. I think you're creating that space for people to feel comfortable to be able to do more expressive physical worship. But yeah, I think it's fine. Like for example, remember at church retreat when you had people raise their hands?
That was the very first time I did.
The end. Yeah, I thought that was really powerful. I think
so. Like what
really
I'm saying is that is it losing its power?
Oh,
is it becoming a novelty? Is it becoming like cliche?
Well, you haven't led in a really long time, right?
Yeah, I've been on a slight break.
I don't think so. For me, no. Why have you gotten?
No, I just figured I'd ask you since you're going to give me an honest answer, and I value your opinion, so I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I think so far it has not become cliche.
Okay, well, thank you. I will continue to ask you, and if it ever becomes stale, then you can let me. You could just be like, no, we're not going to do that. Like, okay.
Okay. I'll do it.
Yeah, Joyce, our team actually hasn't led for a while. We've been on a little break, but you have not taken a break from ministry. You've actually taught Sunday school a lot more. And so I did want to talk to you about Sunday school and get your feel on it. Last time I talked to you, I think you only did like your first lesson, maybe your first 2 lessons, but now you have like what, 6 lessons under your belt, or 8 maybe?
So.
Yeah, something. It's definitely like
6.
Okay, yeah. How do you feel?
It's hard. I think so. Like coming up with topical ones are harder.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I love topical.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I like it when other people do it, but like when I'm doing it, so far it's been like pretty difficult. I think just because I'm starting from like scratch. Like not only do I have to decide what to do, but I have to like there's nothing to build off of. It's just me like in that lesson.
Well, to be fair, you did choose a hard topic.
That's true. But I thought it was interesting. Wasn't it interesting?
Yes, it was interesting. You did evil. And it was
okay.
Where did evil come from, or the origins of evil, right? That was your
I mean, I didn't mean it to be like that, but it kind of turned into that, huh?
Turned into it, yeah. Well, I mean, I thought it was good. I thought that was a good lesson.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I think Sunday school, I think it's cool to get to like rotate with you and John in teaching, because I think we all have pretty different teaching styles.
Yeah, I was actually scared about that, but you think it's
Oh,
good?
really?
Yeah.
Why would it be a bad thing?
Well, I think that it's like maybe jarring for the students to sit under like one person and then like have to switch up their entire mindset when the next person comes up to teach the next week. And then I was also, I'm also scared that like, oh, maybe you, me, and John aren't totally on the same page, but I think we're okay. I think we're okay.
Do you think
like,
we're not?
No, I mean, I think we're fine. I just like, I think our styles are very different. Like you're definitely more kind. I think John.
Oh, really?
John is a little bit more stern, and I think
you're the worst.
I think I'm pretty bad. Yeah. So
you're the most intense, extreme one.
I mean, am I wrong? Okay, well, please continue.
No,
sorry, I keep interrupting you. Like,
no, I don't think you're wrong. But just like the way in which you run the class is like very strict, but I think it's cool and I think they enjoy it.
Thanks. Okay, well, continue your thought. You were saying that like, oh, like you like how we rotate.
Oh yeah, I guess like for me, I like being able to see different styles and to like learn from it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, because I think they can also experience different styles of teaching and different like mindsets and different ways of thinking. So it like expands their minds, I think, if anything. And they like are able to see these different ways of thinking through topics. Because I think like maybe I'm more like structured and like logical, whereas like you guys are more
illogical.
Experience. No, not experience. Like experience based. Yeah. So I think it's been good.
Are you having fun?
Yes. I think it's definitely hard. And I think like I can still definitely grow a lot. And it's a lot of work. But it's something that I want to get good at, because I think when it's good, it's like very fruitful.
Do you know any insight from the students? Like, has any of the girls told you like, oh, you're a good teacher?
You want me to tell you right now?
Can you like fix that? Yeah, I want you to tell me right now. You don't have to say their names.
So I did ask some girls, that narrows it down, huh?
Yeah.
About what they thought. Like, I think towards the middle of the semester. And I think they said that it was like a lot of, like, it takes a lot of focus to pay attention in class. And there's a lot of like Bible turning.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I expect the students to focus in class. Like, I'm not there to have a good time. Like we're there to learn. And if there's not turning of the Bible pages, then I would be like, well, where is this information coming from? Like, look, I'm getting extreme already, but like, yeah, like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think they made good observations that I'm happy that are true about our class.
So you want to keep it like that?
Well, I do know that like I do know that the content is maybe more difficult than content that they've had before. And I do know that like, yeah, we do put a lot of Bible verses. Like maybe other classes, they probably like have a couple passages that they'll study, but we throw a lot of passages at them because we're trying to support the claims that we're making, with the doctrines of grace. So I don't know. I mean, I keep trying to think of ways around like, okay, maybe I can cut like this verse here, and make it less. Kind of like what I emailed to you, like, oh yeah, like we can probably explain verses more instead of just throwing a whole bunch of verses at them and just keep flipping our pages,
Mm-hmm.
In terms of focus, like I went overtime this week and I know that was my fault. And I really do want to make my lessons an hour or less. I gotta work on that, me personally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I feel like I have the opposite problem.
Filling. Well, like, it's not a problem then. That's not a problem for you though. That's a good thing that you're able to condense your information.
I don't know about that.
What you did that I thought was really cool is that you had them journal, and mm-hmm. I don't know if I used to journal like when I was in Sunday school, but I think it's helpful for the students, and I think it gives them a clear time to reflect and to take it in and maybe think of some applications.
Mm-hmm.
Did you journal?
Do you think I should do that more?
Yeah, I would love it
Okay.
if you encourage them to keep journaling because obviously I run out of time and there's no time for me to tell them to journal. So yeah,
Okay.
like where did you get that idea from? Like, is it something that you did when you were in Sunday school, or do you personally
Um,
journal? Like, what's the deal?
I guess it's a mix of things. So, like, one, I heard that in another Sunday school class at our church, they had people journal. And I thought that that was a cool idea because it forces them to like be quiet and like sit and like think and like be in their minds, which I think is really hard for people to do nowadays to just like sit and be by themselves and in their minds. So that was like one thing. So I think that made me think like, oh, this is something that is like doable in church Sunday school. And it's not like out of like ordinary, I guess. Like it's not crazy. And then, yeah, I also like to journal myself sometimes. And I think I used to do it more, but I think just like being able to write down my thoughts about what I just learned and to frame it in a way that I understand, like being able to write it down after hearing it, I think like shows that you actually understand it, right? Like it's like they say, if you're able to teach a topic, that shows full understanding. So like being able to translate it into like filter it through your own mind and then put it down on paper, I think is a really good exercise for them to actually see like, oh, did I understand that or did I not? And then just giving them again that like space and time to like think it through and to mull it over. Because otherwise, I think like when they leave Sunday school, I don't know how much they actually really remember or think about the things that
Yeah,
they
for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So it's just like a time for them to like the word consolidate like what they just heard.
I think it's good. And I agree with you that like, yeah, they after church on Sunday, they probably just forget it all, you know? And I think that's why like I try to stress that like, oh, should bring some notebooks and maybe just throughout the week, just kind of look at it, you know, just kind of remind yourself about what you talked about, what we discussed. And I don't know, maybe the final grades reflect if they are doing that or not.
Yeah.
Did you have Sunday school when you were growing up?
No, I didn't.
What did you guys do? Like, was it just a worship service and that's it, or what?
Do you mean growing up as in like high school?
Whatever you consider your formative years, I guess.
Well, I mean, I think for me it was kind of weird because I jumped from church to church. Like when I was in middle school, I went to Calvary Chapel, where there was no Sunday school, there was no like young adult, or I mean, young adult, but like youth. There was youth, but I didn't go. So I like sat in like the English service and then just went on Sundays and then went home. And then when I was in high school, the church that I went to was a really small church, so I didn't have Sunday school. I, in fact, like taught Sunday school at that church.
You did?
I taught like elementary to middle school age kids, but it was off a curriculum and only did it for like a little bit.
And well, I didn't know that about you. That's something new.
Oh yeah.
Something new.
Yeah, I didn't really have Sunday school growing up. Like I would go to the occasional church and have the occasional few like months or so where I had like a Bible study class, I guess, where they went through like the curriculum. They had a little like pamphlet and you read like a story and then asked these questions, you know, like structured, right? Not like this, not like people like teaching and talking at you and like mentoring you, but it was just like off a curriculum. So I had a couple of those and like I went to like church retreats and stuff like that. But I never had like Sunday school class consistent like this.
Did most of your Christian education come from Grace, GOC?
I think a lot of it did. Yeah.
Because you guys would have, it's like large group, right? And then you would have small groups. Yeah. So I'm assuming most of your education came from that small group setting and you would just take in the sermons.
Yeah, a lot of it did. So college were my formative years.
College was your spiritual formative years.
Yeah, I would say so.
Was it like...
I think I still grew before then, but college was really where like things became more clear to me. Like I didn't know what the word sanctification meant until I went to college. I didn't know what like lordship salvation was until I went to college. Or tulip. I had never heard of that before I went to college. So like all of that stuff. I didn't know doctrine until I went to college, I guess.
Did you feel uneducated? Like were you kind of like, oh, I can't believe like, oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. But I think it only made me like more interested in learning more. And it made me like, maybe that's why like God chose to like reveal those things to me when I was in college, right? It's because like I realized like, oh, this is like all that I've been missing. Even though I had called myself a Christian, like went to church and everything, I like didn't know how rich it could be, theology could be. So maybe like that was like the point where I was meant to like discover it so that I could desire more and like want more because it's so new to me.
No, it makes sense. And that is a good time to learn stuff. I mean, I'm assuming you weren't always studying, so you probably had extra time to dive into Christian stuff, books, sermons.
Yeah, I'm still learning. I still have a long way to go.
Well, me too. What are you currently reading, Joyce? You told me earlier that you want to read during this
break. I haven't started yet.
What's on your plate?
So books that I like started but have not really made progress in are Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, Instruments in the Redeemer's Hands, Knowing God.
Classics.
I'm looking at my bookshelf right now. Case for Christ I started, but I don't know if I'm going to make my progress on that one. That's kind of...
This is a lot to read.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been reading. And then there's like this book it's from the Library of Charles Spurgeon.
Oh, okay.
It has like really short sermons, like Puritan sermons, I think. That's like one that I stopped reading too. And then I want to read like those worship books that you gave me too.
Okay, yeah, thanks for not reading. I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm kidding. I know you're busy.
But they're going to get read during break.
Well, thank you. Why these books in particular? Why Instruments in the Redeemer's Hand? Why Knowing God? Why Screw Tape Letters?
Well, Instruments was the book that the biblical counseling class that Lighthouse held. That was the book that they went through or assigned us to read, and I never read it. So I want to read it. And I hear really good things about it from other people. They're like, this is like a really like the golden standard of like counseling books. So I want to read that one. And I have it because I took that class, but I just never really went through it. And then Knowing God, I just like found in my garage one day. Yeah, it's like a really old copy. I think it's from like the 1960s or something like that. And I think I had heard about it from other people. And then I just like started reading it and I really, really liked it. But it's also pretty dense. So yeah, I'm still making my way through that one. And then Screw Tape Letters, I heard from someone else, like the premise of it, and I thought it was interesting. I wanted to go through it. And then this person also said it was a pretty easy read. So I was like, oh, this is something I could read like at night every once in a while. But then I stopped. And then the Charles Spurgeon one I saw in a bookstore and I was like, oh, I really want to know.
Wow, good job.
So.
These are...
Well, okay, good job, but I'm not doing it right now.
Oh, I mean, good job setting these goals. I mean, last time I talked to you, you said that you watch a lot of Netflix. So I'm surprised that you're changing your...
I haven't been watching Netflix either. I think it's just I've been so busy these past couple of months. School, church, other responsibilities. It's like, I feel like I don't have that much time.
Man.
But
how long is your break?
From now until January 7th.
That's a really long time.
3
weeks? Like a month.
3 weeks, 4 weeks?
No, that's almost a full month.
Yeah. I'm taking a trip with my family too. So.
Oh, cool. Where are you guys going?
Colorado.
Nice. Are you going to ski?
That's what everyone asks. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think my parents are down for skiing.
Do you ski?
So, I've never skied or snowboarded.
Yeah, I don't like the snow. So I hate the snow. That's
why?
Why? Who wants to be in the snow? It's like wet and cold. Like there's nothing fun about it. You can sink in it. You can die. Like it's not fun.
I guess those are the very worst things that could happen. But I guess
frostbite. It's not fun.
Okay. Avalanches.
Well, Joyce, I hope you have a good vacation, and I hope you get a lot of reading done. Next time we podcast, I will follow up on your reading, and I'll ask you how it went. I'll ask you to give me a summary statement for all the books, I guess.
Okay, that's a lot of books.
Hey, I just realized that you're in Diamond Bar right now, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever hear the band like practicing?
Oh, sometimes. Yeah.
So it's not like loud or anything.
No, I'll hear the metronome every once in a while. You know, that like really like loud.
The
like,
1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Or do you hear the click,
like the
click? Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Do you get nostalgic?
I do. I really miss it. It was really fun.
Okay. Well, then maybe we'll go back. I always tell Jess that I'm gonna go take her to a show, but then like when the shows come up, I'm just like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go.
A high school drumline show?
Yeah.
Oh, which one? Diamond Bar?
No, like a WGI or like a SCPA.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Oh, you guys never did that stuff though, huh?
No, we had indoor drumline. They
did?
started indoor drumline my junior year.
No way.
Yeah. So then I did indoor drumline for 2 years. And then I don't think they started going to like that kind of stuff until I was gone.
Yeah. Do you know if they currently do it?
WGI?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know. I have to ask my girls.
That's cool. I'm glad that you get that experience. Like, I feel that like having band or orchestra experience, any school extracurricular stuff automatically gives you like a relational aspect to the students. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do.
Do you use it to your advantage?
Sometimes. If they've been in band, I can relate. Marching band.
I was never like that studious, so I could never relate to the studious ones. I can only relate musically to people. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, a lot of them are into music. So
apparently. I'm glad they are too, because that's all I got to offer.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for doing this podcast, Joyce. I think we're good. Thanks for spending the first couple hours of your break on the internet with me, I guess.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Joyce, for being my guest on the show, and thank you everyone for listening. Please send me your feedback or questions for follow-up. You can even send me any questions specifically for Joyce to follow up on, and I'll be sure to get to them in the next few episodes. As a quick supplement to this podcast episode, I wrote a blog post on 3 ways I want to improve in teaching Sunday school. I'll put that link in the show notes. Also in the show notes, you'll find links to our podcast archive. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or your favorite podcast player. My website is musicgoon.com. The email address for this podcast is soundwords@musicgoon.com. And you can always tweet me at Musicgoon. Thanks. See you soon.